What's up, Wizards? Dev from SBMTG here. Well, I got a couple more spoilers for you, like I said I would. We had a couple that were spoiled very late last night, like 3:30 in the morning here. And I'm going to go ahead and do those, and then I'm going to give you the ones that were spoiled at about 11 a.m. this morning. And those are pretty awesome, to be honest. The first one here that people are excited for, I'm still skeptical, is Scorch Regent. This is exactly what it looks like. It's a 5-mana 4/3 flyer. When they play a spell, it gets a +1/+1 counter, and you gain a life. Wow! A whole life. We've had cards like this before, that when they do something, cast a spell or a creature spell, play a land, it gets +1/+1 counter, excuse me. It's always best to, let me just put it this way, rely on your own resources, your own plays, rather than what your opponent does. Obviously, they're going to be casting spells. We're playing Magic here. But I'm not as impressed by this as a lot of people are. I think we have better 5-mana options in Standard, in this color, or in these color combinations. So I'm not that impressed, guys. There are people saying that it's out of lightning strike range because they cast the strike, it gets the counter, it only deals 3, it has to deal 4. That really still doesn't sell me, you know? I think 5 mana is a little much to pay for something like this. Now, I may be wrong, but I'm not entirely overwhelmed by Scorch Regent right this second. The other card that we got last night, super late, and this one I'm a little more excited for, is Silumgar's Assassin. This is pretty cool because it's a 2-mana 2/1 in black. You don't see that every day. Right now we do have a 1-mana 2/1 in black. It's pretty cool. A couple of those. In any case, it is interesting. This has Megamorph, which I still can't get over how ridiculous Megamorph sounds. But the cool thing about it is when it flips up, it destroys a creature with power 3 or less. And there's an awful lot of stuff in the format that's pretty cool that you can bust with that. I think that Assassin is cool. I don't like a 6-mana investment over a possible 2 turns worth of plays. You know, it's a lot to ask for, but I think that kind of on a surface level, Assassin may be a little better than it reads at first. It does have some cool abilities on it, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm not, again, I know I'm being pretty picky here, but I'm just not that impressed with Assassin. Now, the 2 things that everyone is super excited about, let's go ahead and get to those. These were spoiled at 11 o'clock this morning. One is Shaman of Forgotten Ways, which they're just getting ridiculous with how they name Magic cards now. Yeah, 3-mana 2/3, we always talk about that's desirable in limited environments. It can tap to add 2 mana for the casting of creature spells only, and it has Biorhythm just built into it. That's its formidable ability. And it costs 11 mana, so, you know, 11 mana is kind of steep for something like that. I don't know how relevant that actually is. Yes, we have Devotion, Nykthos, blah, 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 but I don't know. Even if you do get it off, it's not like it says win the game or anything. So I'm not too keen on it. And as far as its first ability, it looks cool, but we had a thing in Innistrad that was 3 mana, it was green, it was splashable, it produced 3 mana of any color combination for the casting of creatures specifically. And that only saw, you know, very, very limited play. Obviously, this does more than that, it has a better PT, but, again, being picky, I'm not entirely sure this is the best thing ever. There's a reason it's Mythic. I always say that, but I don't think this will be a $2 Mythic or anything, but I think that we'll have to see what is done with this. You know, give us your ideas in the comments, because I'm not too sold on this guy. Something I am super sold on, though, is Ojutai's Command. I think this is the best card spoiled so far. I'll say that. It's no cryptic command, but it does do other stuff, and it's a little less mana intensive. That's kind of cool. Can't play it. You know, Cryptic Command you can play in mono blue, but it even got played in 5-color control and stuff, so you could play it. It doesn't matter. This card's much the same. You can play this card for limited mana, honestly. And yeah, that return a creature card with converted mana cost 2 or less to the battlefield, that is just fine. There's a whole list of creatures that you can use that on and get a lot of value out of. And yeah, I just think especially the combination of countering a creature and getting one back is really good. Honestly, the draw a card in any of these other things is fine. Although you'll probably never gain 4 and draw a card. Hopefully not. Hopefully it doesn't come to that. But yeah, Ojutai's Command I think is the best card we've seen spoiled so far. We'll see play in Standard. I'll go ahead and say that. And probably means we'll get a whole list of other commands, the other legendary dragons. Let's hope. Now let's start talking about dragons, BT dubs. The first one I want to talk about is Arashin Sovereign. I'm not super impressed by this one either. It's a 7, man. It's just so much. 7 mana, 6/6, and when it dies, you can put it back on top or on the bottom if you're getting tricky. Yeah. So it kind of reminds me of Golgari Grave, the bug, the scarab bug. You know, it's hard to argue that a creature that never dies effectively is bad. Seems good to me, and you can reanimate it. They wrote it in such a way that it doesn't just whenever it goes to the graveyard put it back. It's when it dies specifically. So you can reanimate this card, but it's probably not the best reanimation target in Standard. Let's be true here. So Sovereign, you know, for that price, I'd rather just pay the extra mana and get an Ugin. You know, honestly, there's a lot of better stuff at that price range in Standard. All right, the next guy that got spoiled is a Necromaster Dragon. That's a hilarious name. 5 mana, 4/4 flyer, and I hate that you have to pay 2 mana whenever he hits. It should just be whenever he hits them combat damage, this happens. So I like that you get creatures, that he makes creatures. That seems fine. The 2 mil could almost be a detriment in some cases in this format. So not really impressed, especially, again, at that price range. But let's go ahead and talk about a few that are effectively costed. Next, we're going to talk about Boltwing Marauder. Now, I think that this actually has a place in Standard somewhere in the hyper-aggressive decks. It's no Butcher of the Horde. Let's get that out of the way. That is a better card. But this, with the Ogre Battle Driver ability that's been upgraded to where it's any creature gets the +2/+0, that is just fine at the top of the curve in a lot of your aggressive decks. And we've already seen Black-Red aggro be a thing. So I think that Boltwing is one of the 2 truly good dragons that got spoiled today. Is he going to be a thing in Standard? We'll just wait and see. But I think he's got some chops. So I can't go all the way and say yes, definitely. But people will be playtesting with him. Absolutely. Next to last, actually, is Harbinger of the Hunt. Harbinger of the Hunt is interesting. I hate how low his toughness is. It's cool that it's each other creature with flying on that second ability so that he'll stay alive. That's desirable. But it still takes like 9 mana to kill a Mantis Rider. And I'm not really seeing Harbinger be too much of a thing, especially at his price range. Now, he fire spouts conditionally, and being able to kill stuff on board is really good, but this is more of a sealed mana sink IMO than a standard killer. So be on the lookout for it, but I'm really not seeing it. I think that Storm Breath is just better than this. Next up, finally, we have a Pristine Skywise. I saved this guy for last because I think he's the best dragon that we got to see today. 6 mana is a little pricey for something. I would have rather had like a 5 mana 5/4 or something like that. 6 mana is kind of steep, but that's what everyone said about Aetherling too. And this guy hella protects himself, which is what everyone wants out of their creatures so that you can't say it dies to removal. A cool thing about this is that it's super good on defense. Very hard to attack through, even if you've previously attacked with him. If he's tapped, they still have to think, this guy could untap anytime and wreck my whole day. And he gets through defenses very well, because he just basically Mother of Runes whenever you prowess. I really like Skywise. I don't know that he is the win condition in blue-white control, but he's definitely a candidate at the very least. Been playing for a while, and whenever a guy comes out like this, he becomes a thing eventually. He might have to wait for rotation, but I do think that Skywise has constructed chops all day. Well, guys, that's all we got for now. I'm pretty sure with how Wizards did things yesterday, that we'll probably see some more spoilers late tonight. I'm Dev, we're from Strictly Better MTG, and we'll see you guys a little bit later on tonight, hopefully.